Hello my friends, welcome back. I have been giving my space here a little bit of a tidy up so I can pop up some Halloween decor tomorrow, and in doing so I found a couple of traveler's notebooks that I don't think I've ever shared with you, so I'm going to do a super quick flip through so that I can pop them away. I'm going to start with this one here, which was, I'm pretty sure that I started way back in February. It was kind of my love themed notebook, and I've done a few spreads in here, and I think I've only just finished it off recently because there was like a page or two missing. It's still love themed, it just took me longer than February to do it. So all of my notebooks I make myself. I've got tutorials all over my channel. They're so easy. If you've never tried making your own, give it a go. I'm sure you'll be just as obsessed as I am. The interior pages, I just use whatever I've got on hand, to be honest. It's about 120 GSM just white paper, because often I'm sticking entire sheets in here as well. So this was the first page in here. My little cute friend here chowing down some pizza. This is my nephew Jack, and I used a bunch of printables from Veronica Creates, and plus this pattern paper, which matched perfectly. When I saw her little pizza heart printable, I knew exactly the photo that I was going to use for this page. And it really was just a quick kind of 15-minute deal. It did not take me long to put together a wee cluster, and I just kept it balanced over on this side with a little cluster, so the kind of contrast between the dark and the light just helps balance all of that red. This page is some printables from Nellie and Clem. These were, again, another really simple page. I've got this heavy pattern paper and then a couple of clusters. I did use the photo here to, I'm going to hide my journaling, which is on the back, to create a little pocket for my journaling. My love photo here with my husband Shane and a cup of coffee. This was another Nellie and Clem one, my love note to my work coffee. I work from home, so there's a lot of coffee being drunk here, and I am very grateful for it. This time I created a bit of a shelf down the bottom with the pattern paper and some washi tape, and I have added a few of these little printables with some foam, just quite kind of thin foam, so thin kind of craft foam, to make sure it's not too bulky. And this notebook is a little bit smaller. When you make your own notebooks, you can kind of make them however big you want. I tend to put between 6 and 7 pages or spreads in them, just so that they don't get too thick. I find it really difficult to work in, and I definitely find it very difficult to film in when they are a little bit thicker, so I try not to put too much in the way of kind of dimensional embellishments in here. This was a little bit of a filler page. This is the one I've done recently. I had a bunch of Rosie Studios die cut embellishments to use up. So I created this very simple, but deceptively it took a long time. What I did was kind of create this ombre of the colors of the die cuts. So I'm starting with the blue greens, moving into yellows and then pinks. I did pop a photo in there just so it wasn't kind of a sticker page. It was just a little bit of a different kind of layout, and I really love how this turned out. I did do an anniversary layout. So in February we have our wedding anniversary on the 22nd of the 2nd. This was using a printable of my own, actually, a freebie for my patrons. It was a traveler's notebook size paper that I fussy cut out so that I could fill the entire spread, and then I just die cut some numbers and added a wee photo. So it's got some pearls in here, again, very small dimension. This was a spread when we first knew that we were going to get Pearl. This was the very first photo that I was sent of her. Fell in love with her in this photo, so I had to do a wee spread. You can hear her running around with her sister in the background. Love This page was another one of those Patreon printables. I added some splatter stamps, which I think probably began my obsession with splatter stamps way back in February. It's been a big thing this year for me. And then just created a wee cluster top and on the photo here using some Rosie Studios stickers, and I think it's mostly stickers, to be honest. I don't think there's any die cuts. All of these are stickers. And this pattern paper is a Rosie Studios one too. And the last page, yes, the last one I did in here, my little view of my crafty room. Not just my crafty room, my actual work room as well. So this is definitely the room that I spend the majority of my time here in the house. I was testing out this technique of like using like a dotting tool or a bone folder or whatever to create these like patterns, these raised, it's very hard to see on camera, these raised patterns on a paper. And I love how it turned out. It just didn't, you couldn't see it that well, and so I inked it up so that you could see the raised portion of it just a little bit better. I only did a very small piece of paper, so I have torn that down the middle so that I could pop it across an entire spread, and I really do love it. I will say I had intended to write some journaling in here and never really got there in the end, so I'll have to do that before I put the notebook away. So for my second notebook, I've kind of got out of the habit of stamping them, or at least last year when I did my monthly notebook project, I knew which month I had at least done the spreads, not necessarily where the photos came from, but when I had done the notebook. This time I don't know. They were all from the last few months anyway. I haven't done nearly as much notebooking this year as I have in previous years. This one I did with my patrons using a bunch of, I think it might be Simple Stories stuff. I got it from the Citrus Twist store anyway. And then I just picked up the die cut embellishments, and so I found this very old Studio Calico paper in my stash, a little snippet of it. I didn't quite have enough to cover the entire spread, so the second piece I like ripped in the middle so that I could add my title in there as well. This was one of the spreads that I had done for the Studio Calico Summer of Sketches class. I love how this one turned out. This is actually, like, the whole spread is a page from one of their notebooks. I used the paper and have popped it into my own notebook here, but all of this came from either the kit or the class stamp. And I had a sketch to work with, which is almost one of my favorite things to do. I do love using a sketch, and actually, I don't know if it's in this notebook or not. It is. I actually used the same sketch to create this spread. I just changed it a whole lot more than I did the first one to suit myself with a larger third photo rather than 3 photos all being the same. But this was the same kit, the same sketch, and you can see a completely different result. Just one of the few reasons that I do love using sketches. This was another spread, not from the same sketch, but from the same class. And I used another kit from Studio Calico for this one. It had these kind of diamond-shaped die-cut embellishments. I had no idea how to use them. It's not really a shape that I would use a lot, especially kind of as an embellishment. So instead what I did was I just washi taped them all on the back to create a kind of pattern paper strip and added that onto my spread instead. And I do love that whole mix of patterns. You could easily recreate that with like scrap paper, but this was a fun way to use those kind of embellishments that I wouldn't normally use. I have a process video for this page up on my YouTube channel. This is for Rosie Studios, using their Hello Honey collection, as well as some of their cut files. This is another Rosie Studio page. This was the Jumping in Puddles collection. Just a really fun kind of autumnal spread. So again, this shows how old this notebook might be. We are deep into spring now, so at least 6 months old. This little photo of Pearl watching the leaves on the deck. This was a page that I had put together purely because I was practicing using some of my Pinkfresh Studio like stamps and stencils and dies. I was just playing with different colors and ended up creating a few different versions of this particular one. And I thought it was quite cute. The colors kind of matched my sweater in the selfie that I took, so I decided just to turn it all into a spread. It is quite thick because I had done all of the kind of stenciling on some pretty heavy cardstock, and there's sort of 3 layers in here, but I really love it. It's a different kind of color scheme than what I would normally use, and it worked out really nicely. I got this fantastic stamp set from Syncopation Designs. I'm pretty sure it's, I can't remember the name of it. I mean, obviously, it's all about cats. I used a Studio Calico paper from the Traveler's Notebook that I was working in and did a whole bunch of cat stamping on there. I just tried to kind of tone on tone stamp the colors. You can see in some places they sort of overlap a little bit. Some of them were too dark to see, but I really loved the look of it, a way of kind of altering that pattern paper to suit myself. The rest of the spread is very simple because that pattern did take me a long time and it is super bold, just kind of balanced out by the white page, and I've got 4 photos on here, but I printed them all as one photo block. This is another Rosie Studios Jumping in Puddles page, again with the cut file. I'm reasonably sure, I'm pretty sure actually, there is a process video for this one here on my channel as well. We've just looked at this one before, but I loved the bold yellow. My dad bought me some beautiful sunflowers, and I've really just embellished that with some stamps and washi tape and a few little puffy stickers. And this was another take on a sketch from Studio Calico Summer of Sketches as well. I wasn't like 100% happy with this one. The photo wasn't great to start off with. It was very dark. But I was just playing with a little bit of fussy cutting. I fussy cut some stamps that I had stamped out. And it was a simple, easy page. And it doesn't matter if you don't 100% love everything all the time. This is the last page in this notebook and another Rosie Studios Jumping in Puddles moment. We had a bit of a snowstorm here. I love this kind of torn ombre or rainbow look with pattern paper. It's a super, super simple technique. I've used it multiple times now and I love it every time I use it. So that's my 2 latest notebooks. I have got 2 more on the go. I'm not sure why I've started 2. One was an experiment with adding some pocket pages into a notebook, which actually worked out really, really well. So let me know if you want to see a tutorial for that. Otherwise, I hope you've enjoyed this quick flip through, and I will see you again really soon. Bye!